Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a Reddit video. I found a new subreddit and it actually looks like a lot of fun, so let's delve into it together. I'm sure you've heard of it actually, I'm sure you've heard of this subreddit before because it's growing rapidly in popularity. r/girl dinner diaries. Before we get into it, I'm gonna share my girl dinner real quick, which is just noodles because I didn't have much in. Girl dinner, let's go. Hopefully you're having girl dinner whilst watching this. If not, then sorry. The whole point of this subreddit is we share girl dinner, like what we're having, and then we get into stories. There's different categories. You'll see how different the themes will be. We can go from just a catch up to a complete 180 to talking about like family drama and ex drama and all that stuff. It's fun. Like, we check in on each other and make sure we're okay, but look at me talking as if I'm one of the girls. I'm one of yous now. Look at me with my hair. May as well be at this point. I haven't talked enough, let's just get into it. The first story from Girl Dinner Diaries is From Strict Rules to Soft Hearts, How My Dad Saved My Future. Growing up with my dad felt like living under a personal curfew system. The moment a boy even breathed in my direction during high school, Dad was right there, standing tall at the front porch with a stare that could freeze hot water. I used to think that he was being unfair, constantly guarding me from the teenage romance everyone else seemed to be chasing. But looking back now, his firmness was never about control, it was purely about protection. He watched over my steps with a cautious heart, steering me away from heartbreaks and distractions I simply wasn't ready to handle. As I grew older, the stern look in his eyes softened, revealing a gentle, deeply devoted father who just wanted to see me thrive without regrets. Today, as a happily married mother of two sweet little kids, I see the whole picture with complete clarity. Walking into marriage as a virgin was something deeply personal to me, and it gave me a priceless sense of pride and self-made respect that I cherish every day. My husband often tells me how grateful and proud he is for the values I held onto, and it reinforces how right my dad was. I respect your opinions, I respect everyone's opinions as long as those were your opinions and they weren't forced on you. You weren't forced to have those save it till marriage opinions, right? Those are completely yours. Just make sure. That strict man from my teenage years had fully transformed into the absolute sweetest father and grandfather. Watching him roll around on the carpet with my toddlers, completely melted by their laughter, brings tears to my eyes. The sharp voice that used to send neighborhood boys running now speaks only with warmth, pride, and unconditional affection. I am so deeply thankful for the boundaries my father has set for me when I couldn't see the bigger picture. His tough love laid the foundation for the peace, dignity, and happy home I enjoyed. What felt like strictness back then turned out to be the greatest gift a loving father could ever give. Girl dinner seems to be avocado on toast with a tomato and cheese pasta. It looks delicious, my love. You've even got a few leaves on there as well. Just as long as the saving yourself was your opinion and it wasn't forced. Ooh, fix my hair, what's going on? And yeah, the other thing I was thinking of, it seems like there might be like a culture here, a different ethnicity to white, because there are fathers from different ethnicities, typically Asian, like West Asian, who protect their daughters. They protect their daughters like their life depends on it. They're not allowed to be near boys. They're not allowed to like go near them in case anything happens. Even just the idea of them kissing a boy is just too much. And then you see that they completely 180 when grandkids are involved and they just become so giving and loving around the grandkids. I know that happens. It can happen in any ethnicity, but it is more common in typical West Asian families where they are too overprotective in some cases. But it seemed as though that she understood and she was okay with this. So wholesome because she was okay with it. So, and great girl dinner. Next story. Boyfriend has a whole other girlfriend. We're meeting tomorrow. So this category is rant and ramble. You can see the difference between the categories in this subreddit. It gets wild and then it gets wholesome and then it gets emotional. So buckle up. They've explained what girl dinner is first. Some people explain it at the start, some people explain it at the end. So tonight's girl dinner is beef and rice because I needed the real food after the week I've had. So we've got steamed veggies, some rice, and some beef with a little bit of sauce or gravy, it looks like. Girl dinner. So I found out 4 days ago that my boyfriend of 3 years has another girlfriend. I am very sorry. Not a talking stage, not a situationship, a whole entire girlfriend with matching phone cases and everything. Oh my lord, where does he find the audacity? Matching phone cases. He may as well have got a ring. How I found out is almost embarrassing. He left his iPad at my place and a FaceTime call came in from a contact saved as a heart emoji. It's embarrassing for him, not you, darling. Honestly, it's embarrassing for him. I answered because I thought it was maybe his mum or something. It was not his mum, it was a very confused woman saying, "Who are you?" And I said, "Who are you?" And that's how I met Jessica. Okay, Jessica didn't know about you, so Jessica is off the hook. Instead of screaming at each other, we actually ended up talking for 2 hours. Turns out he's been telling her he works late at nights, on the nights that he's with me, and telling me he's at the gym on the nights he's with her. This man built an entire second... How do you have the time? How do you have the time to do this? Learn to knit. Neither of us has told him we know yet. Jessica and I have been texting non-stop since Tuesday, and we are meeting for coffee tomorrow to compare notes and figure out how we want to handle... Oh my god. How we want to handle this, and honestly, she's really cool. And I'm low-key mad he's the reason we met. Data. Honestly, make him jealous. Anyway, cheers to the absolute audacity of men. This is beef and rice. This beef and rice is hitting different tonight. At least you made a friend. It could have been worse. She could have blamed you. I know some people freak out because emotions are very high, but you made a friend. It's embarrassing for him. The way you found out is embarrassing for him, no one else. That one's just a short and sweet one. Well, short and bitter. Are you ready for another emotional whiplash? I found his OF subscriptions and broke up. Again, rant and ramble. I'm honestly here just to rant. We've been dating for almost a year now, and we're having financial issues, so I was going through our records when I found them. Okay, right. It's one thing to pay for OF and pay for subscriptions in general, but if you're having financial issues and you're doing it, like, boy, Jesus Christ, just get your finances in check. I don't even have a sponsor to shout out. Like, Jesus, this would have been perfect. Honestly, I don't know if it would have been better if it was just subscriptions, but honestly, he's paying for content and paying for custom stuff. He spent over $400 on there, and that was just last month. $400 in 1 month. I honestly should have seen this coming. No wonder the last few months of our sex life has changed. He M-baited more often. I honestly couldn't take the disrespect, so I broke up. I packed my stuff to my sister's place and left. Blocked him off everything and really didn't want to talk to him anymore. The thought of it disgusts me to this day. Girl dinner looks like an egg salad. It looks really good, actually. I would love to know what seasoning you used. The tomatoes look roasted. There's some avocado in... There's a lot of avocado in this theme. This is devastating. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm glad that y'all found out. But Jesus, if this is a boundary, and obviously it's without a doubt, but if you want to keep exploring these things, you have to discuss it with your partner. You can't just assume that they'll be okay with you essentially cheating. To a lot of people, this will be cheating. For people who have different boundaries, maybe not. But you have to discuss this with your partner. It's just the lack of communication. We have an advice needed flair. She won't make changes to resolve her problems. Girl dinner. It was categorized as Thai food. I see some rice, I see some greens, some carrots, I think. Thai food. Context. My friend Natalie, 30 female, has become increasingly mentally unstable over time. Thoughts and condolences, I hope she's doing better. Throughout the years I've known her, she has always been naturally conflict avoidant and non-confrontational, so it must be quite a switch. A few years ago, she started alluding to disagreements with her husband. Okay. eventually using me to vent about her daily annoyances and irritations. Because she never wanted advice, I simply validated her feelings and urged her to communicate with him, okay? The only personal insight I initially shared was my own rule. When I have big feelings, I sit on them for a day to see if I'm still bothered before bringing them up. It's okay, right. If that's your rule and it works for you, great, but it's never good to bottle it up. It's always good to talk, but never talk to the same person. Never bother your friends with the same things over and over again, because then your friends will just think that they're your therapists and it'll get overwhelming. It's good to talk to a few different people and listen to your friends in return. Don't give what you can't take. Listen to your friends if they're listening to you. These venting sessions only happened every few months. Natalie also disagreed with her parents' political stances, which caused some tension, but it wasn't a frequent topic. Let's not get into politics. A year after she started confiding in me, Natalie became close with a co-worker, Sandra, 38 female, who was married to a woman and had a young child. Natalie and Sandra began hanging out constantly, both inside and outside of work, and their parents even became acquainted. The situation crossed a line during a joint camping trip. Natalie's husband went to bed early, leaving Natalie and Sandra to stay up late, drinking and talking, which ended up with Sandra kissing Natalie on the cheek. Okay, that could be platonic. I kiss all my friends on the cheek and the forehead, whatever. Natalie asked for my thoughts, and I told her if she suspected ulterior motives, she needed to talk to her husband and set firm boundaries with Sandra. She ignored me. Okay, she should have told the husband, because we don't know anyone's boundaries. It might actually be a boundary for the husband to not kiss friends anywhere else, like on the cheek. But for a lot of my friends, they don't mind when I kiss them on the cheek. It's just how I communicate. After a few more equally suspicious situations, I told her plainly that if she felt the need to hide these interactions from her husband, she already knew she crossed the line of a normal friendship. She needed to be honest with him and draw a line with Sandra. Again, she ignored my advice. I am playing both sides here just because I want to know what's going through her head. Because the big switch up is it's going to catch everyone off guard, and it's probably something deeper. But is she scared to lose Sandra? Has Sandra done something? Has Sandra said something? Is she questioning her sexuality? Natalie, is she questioning her sexuality? Is she realizing she might not love her husband due to her sexuality? And the constant complaining about the husband, is he doing stuff behind the scenes that she's not told you about yet? But then on the other side, you're seeing it from a different perspective. OP is seeing a different perspective. OP is seeing the friend, essentially, in their eyes, in OP's eyes, cheat. Because these boundaries are different for everyone, and it seems like this is a boundary for OP in their personal preference, which is fine. I'm just trying to see every side to see if this is just a miscommunication, if this is... I don't know. I know, and there's more to read, but I'm just seeing what I can see from each perspective. A year later, I got a job in the same company, my mistake. While I never saw any suspicious interactions firsthand, Sandra eventually left the company and moved out of state due to a changing work environment. To this day, I don't know if anything physical occurred, but I have told Natalie several times that I consider it an emotional affair. Yes, okay, so it is OP's personal boundaries. Last year, Natalie bought a new car she initially loved. However, after just 1,000 miles, the transmission line blew, sending her into an irrational... Okay, that's not an irrational rage, that is a very rational rage. If you bought your dream car and it blows after 1,000 miles, even after the dealership repaired it and flushed the line, her anger didn't stop. I'm trying to see every side. If she's taking the anger out on UOP, not good. I understand why you're miffed. But having your dream car, the cars are expensive, but having your dream car blow out after only 1,000 miles, then having to pay to get it repaired after not that long, it's just like all those things. And then dealing with a husband who you don't like by the context of it, and maybe even questioning your sexuality. And then the next line, even after the dealership repaired it and flushed the lines, her anger didn't stop when someone left a sizable dent in the door. Another thing happening, and she needs to get the dent removed. It just seems like she needs a minute. She needs a minute to just have nothing happen. She literally walked around the car park, analysing all the cars to hunt down the culprit. It seems irrational, but when you've had your car dented, you do want it. The way that they're typing and spelling things, I'm assuming they're American. Insurance would pay for that, and I think that's why she's doing it. Then came software glitches and ongoing alignment issues. Last month, the motor blew entirely, requiring a brand new engine. With every single car issue, she has been irrationally angry and unable to move on. Alright, again, OP, it's not irrational. Her car blew out twice, and then someone dented her door. She's allowed to be angry. If it's over the top, over the top might be a bit more, maybe a better word to use. If she's taking her anger out on you, that's bad. But it's not irrational to be angry at, like, the universe for all of this stuff happening in such a small period of time. Her husband works at the OEM, don't know what that is, and because he is a quiet guy who isn't mechanically savvy, she constantly blames and resents him for not supporting her through the fixes. I urged her to sell the car, but she refuses, preferring to blame her husband for the predicament. Okay, that is something I'm on OP's side for. Why blame someone who is not directly involved? I know it's typical to be like, oh, the man fixes stuff, but he doesn't know. You can't blame someone who's not involved. I'm on OP's side for this bit. The rest of it, hear your friend out. Her car keeps blowing out. Present day. I recently discovered that Natalie is still secretly in contact with Sandra. She will actually leave her workspace and go sit in a car just to talk to her. Natalie is now incredibly bitter. She hates her job, hates where she lives, and hates her husband. And it's the only thing she talks about. That can be mentally draining. Only having someone reach out just to use you as a therapist, especially if she's not giving the same in return. Her work performance is noticeably slipping, and her manager is no longer has a good impression of her. It does just sound like so much has gone wrong. On top of possibly being in love with a woman, and she'll be questioning her sexuality as someone who is married. It just seems like she needs time away and therapy. And I think the best advice is to, I know it's like she's taking a lot from OP, but guide her into the way of therapy. Maybe even talk to Sandra to get Sandra to do it, because maybe she'll only listen to Sandra. Natalie needs therapy and a break. Maybe going to therapy, she can get like a sick leave so she can get paid whilst recovering, and then hopefully work back into full-time work. On average, she comes to my desk 5 times a day just to BS. I try to set my boundaries by telling her I'm busy, but she ignores me. Occasionally I humour her and go for a quick walk just to get her away from my desk because she does not keep her voice down when she vents. At any given moment, she's on the verge of a tearful, angry breakdown over work, politics, her car, or her husband. Yeah, this is like from about an hour ago, as of recording. The politics in the United States. You know what's going on right now. It sounds like she just needs to get away mentally. She just needs a break. And of course, OP needs like a break from being the group therapist. Because it's not down to you to always listen to this stuff when it's causing you emotional distress too. But it just sounds like it's too much for Natalie to handle it at this point, and she just needs a minute. In fact, I haven't heard her say a single kind word about her husband in years. Oh yeah, because she rants about her husband. I missed that part. The situation weighs on me heavily because I'm 90% sure I'm her only emotional support system. I have suggested personal therapy, couples counselling, talking to her husband, journaling, and even a divorce. I even straight up asked her, why are you with him? Why haven't you done something? Take a week-long vacation by yourself and sort your life out. Choosing not to change anything is still a choice to endure this pain, yet she does absolutely nothing. Talk to Sandra, get Sandra to relay this information. Yeah, it won't feel great that your advice will be coming from someone else, but you can still get the same results. It just seems like she might listen to Sandra better. Meanwhile, she's no longer a good friend to me. I can't talk about my boyfriend, my work, or how much I love my own car without triggering her and causing the narrative to flip straight back to her own problems. Yet that is the issue. It seems like you are the therapist who has to show up and listen all the time, when that's not an equal friendship. That's just a take friendship, and that's not healthy. That's not healthy for you, OP. She will immediately start yelling out in anger. If we are on the phone while driving home, she has a severe road rage during every single call, slamming on her brakes, screaming at the top of her lungs, and cussing people out. I've given her so much advice and she refuses to follow any of it. I am completely finished listening to her if she won't do a single thing to fix her life. Above all, I refuse to let her instability ruin my reputation at work after I have worked so incredibly hard to get to this point in my career. How do I handle this? How do I set a boundary that will no longer be her dumping ground? That I will no longer be her dumping ground. You can set these boundaries. I think you need personal therapy because it does sound like a bad toxic relation. Because toxic relationships aren't just reserved for like boyfriends and husbands and that. It carries on into friendships and family, all that stuff. It's good to reach out to a counselor or a therapist to talk about this and relay the information to Sandra. Voice your concerns to Sandra, and maybe Sandra can give her the information. And again, it might not feel nice that to Natalie it'll be like Sandra's giving the advice, but at least you'll get the same outcome. Hopefully she'll get a therapist. Hopefully she'll leave her husband so the husband can find someone who loves him, and Natalie can figure out her sexuality. Maybe if they even take a break before the divorce, she'll figure out if she is queer or not, or does love her husband or not. But by the sounds of it, she just needs to up and leave. It just sounds like she's going through too much in one go. It sounds like she's just sick of the politics too and just needs to get out of the States. But the food looked good. My advice is get yourself a therapist because you've spent too much time being the group therapist. It's time someone listened to you, OP. And then talk to Sandra to see if she can help. She seems to be the only one that Natalie listens to. Sadly, we have a sad girl dinner. My long-distance boyfriend just soft-launched our breakup. The girl dinner looks great, though. You are a chef. We got a lovely sauce with some rice, some fried mushrooms. Is that chicken? And some steamed broccoli. It looks amazing. After a weekend of weird vibes and silence, we finally talked. He said he's been under a lot of stress and basically shut down. I didn't know you could get women called stress, because he's under her. He still cares about me and says our relationship is important to him, but he had a gut feeling that moving here might be a mistake, and if he doesn't move, he doesn't want to continue the relationship. He worries that he's wasting my time and that I deserve someone better. He's found someone else. I'm sorry, darling, he's found someone else. I understand that the distance is hard and that he has a lot going on, but it's difficult not to take some of this personally, because being with him has always felt worth it to me. Right now I'm giving the space requested, but I can't help but feel like it's so over. Anyway, overcooked chicken with red Thai curry sauce. I'm sorry. If there is a sudden change in personality, in behavior, in anything, there is someone else. When they change suddenly, if it feels like overnight or like over a couple nights, when it's sudden, there is someone else. And I'm sorry to be that guy, but it's true. You'll be sad now, but just think about how much worse you would have felt if you discovered there was someone else. It's best to let it all out now. Enjoy your amazing food. Maybe enjoy a tub of ice cream too. You deserve it. And then let it out, cry in bed for a bit, and then get back out there if you want. If you don't want to, just Netflix is lovely, girl dinner, and you've got this subreddit is full of people who can give good dating advice. And again, if you don't want to get out there, you don't have to. There's no need to rush into anything, unlike, by the sounds of it, someone else did. Someone else being your ex. Hobbies. Huh. Rant and ramble flare again. I called the cops on my mother. Girl dinner. High C fruit punch with mac and cheese from Arby's since my husband didn't want to cook and I don't think I'll be able to eat anyways. Sounds like a lot of fun, my bestie. So like the title says, I had to call the cops on my mum today. So for a backstory, I'm 25 female, my mother is 45 female. She had you quite young, didn't she? We've never had a great relationship, but I try because she's still my mum at the end of the day, and I have two much younger brothers, 9 and 11. Those are not great numbers to be next to each other. Sorry. That I helped raise, and I want the best for them. You didn't have to raise them but so much kudos to you for raising them. You didn't have to, but you did. My father passed away on July 1st. She's been taking it really hard. Condolences. I lost my dad too. It's not easy. And it doesn't ever get easy. I invited her to stay at my house with my brothers until school started to give her a break and spend some time with them, since I moved about 5 hours away from home. She doesn't think I've been taking my father's death hard enough, and that I don't care about her and my brothers despite caring for them financially, and inviting them to my home, helping them as much as I could with the funeral, handling the paperwork, and Lord knows what else. Okay, it sounds like the situation I went through when losing my dad. I was in work mode. Not like it was a job. I was too busy looking after everything with my sister to focus on being emotional, and I finally had the ability to cry. It's been a year in like 2 weeks, and I finally managed to have the time to cry because I've not had the time. I was too busy sorting out my other siblings, working around the family, the funeral, everything like that. There's so much to do. You do not think that there's this much when dealing with a death in the family and in the immediate family. There's still stuff that needs figuring out even after a year. Because I got younger siblings, there's still stuff that needs figuring out. And it's hard. When you're in that work space, that work mind space, you don't have the mental capacity to cry. Because once you do, you're not ready to continue working and everything crumbles. You need to be strong for everyone else whilst they cry. So when they're strong, they can hold you when you cry. My husband cares about my brothers and loved my father, so he was 100% supportive, but hesitant as he knows the relationship with my mother is touch and go. Today I came home early from work with my husband to help my mum-in-law and sort out of a sort of a DV situation. And she was going to store some stuff in my garage. When I walked in, my mother was drinking some heavy alcohol and some super expensive stuff that was a gift, and it was super strong, and I wasn't going to drink it. She apparently did not care. Okay, so the alcohol she was drinking was a gift to OP. Rude. She was absolutely wasted, and I'm not sure, I think she's on meds too, to help with anxiety after my dad's passing. This hasn't been a good combo, and the tension in the house has been rising by the second. In your own house as well, a place where you're supposed to feel safe. She started getting in my face and saying that I didn't care about my dad and freaking out on me. Things kept escalating and I told her to get out of my house. She started breaking things and causing damage to my home. Walking from the kitchen to the room upstairs, I pushed her onto a mattress to stop her from throwing things at me and breaking stuff, and she got up and tackled me down and started hitting me and broke my glasses. Oh my god, OP. I'm so sorry. I started yelling for my husband, and by the time he came upstairs, the fight was over. I immediately called the police and asked someone to come to my house. My mum was then pushed by my mother-in-law out of the house. She was on the stairs to come check on what was going on and grabbed my brothers and took them upstairs to the room she was staying in. Okay, she got the kids out of the way, that's good. She closed the door and started saying I was a terrible person and that she wanted nothing to do with me and that she hoped I would not be here any longer, to the brothers. Then she opened the door, asked me to jump off the flat earth, or at least throw myself down the stairs, called me some not nice things that involved the weight, and slammed the door. The police came and I told them I didn't want her arrested, I just don't want her in my house, and I wanted her to calm down. They questioned me, my husband, and my mother, and then arrested her. They charged her with DV and told me that she had asked for a protection order against me and my husband from the deputy's vehicle. She's the one who attacked you. They also said that since my brothers were in the home when the attack occurred and their mother was arrested, CPS would be involved. Child Protective Services. She's been calling my brothers from jail and telling them I'm going to take them away and I'm a terrible person and a bunch of stuff that's not true. I'm terrified that this is my last night with my brothers and they're the only family I have left. I'm worried about what story my mum will spin and how I even continue with a regular life after this. This is just a lot of stress as obviously my dad just died. I have a new house, a new job. My mother-in-law just left an emotionally abusive and manipulative boyfriend and my husband is about to deploy. So overall, I'm just really stressed out. Anyway, thanks for reading. I just needed a place to let some steam off and yap. I'm hoping the comments absolutely praise this queen for going strong and looking after the brothers and give some good advice. With the statements and witness testimonies from the husband, the mother-in-law, and the brothers, it's most likely that the brothers will stay with the responsible adult, being mother-in-law or OP and husband. If OP's got the financial situation and the house, the brothers will most likely stay with OP, or at least mother-in-law, because there doesn't seem to be any other guardian, especially since, sadly, the dad passed away. And if the brothers do give an honest testimony, it doesn't look like they'll be staying with the mother anyway, so it doesn't seem great now, but give it some time to sit with, like, you know, the police and have the testimonies done, and it will eventually work itself out. And it sucks that your husband's deploying too, but you've got your mother-in-law and she's got you. She's left a bad relationship, but at least now she's got you, OP, and you've got her. And you can work together to keep your brothers. Even if it's just for a little bit, it'll be long enough to figure out a better plan. I think it's a good idea to surround yourself with people that you love and people that you trust, and to get out there and make some good friends to seek refuge with, like mental refuge. I am going to leave this one here. I definitely do recommend this subreddit, because you never know what story you're going to get. The girl dinners, they give you inspiration. I am inspired to cook so many different meals. But then the stories that accompany them, like, I feel like we're all just having like a group therapy session, whilst also going out to dinner at the same time. Like, I feel like I'm having dinner with the girls. I love it. But I also, like, I'm here for the advice in the comments, people just being a shoulder to cry onto. I'm here for women supporting women. Even though I'm not a woman, I'm happy to be the supportive ear and to give any advice. Like, I'm sorry if I'm intruding your safe space, but hopefully there are some women who watch my content who can see this and go, oh, I'll join, and then they find a safe space. Because women need more safe spaces. Sorry if you don't like me invading your space, I'm sorry. It's just a really lovely subreddit that I'd love to talk about, which I did. I wanted to talk about it. Thanks for sticking with me. Do check it out if you'd like to, and I'll see you in my next video. See you then, besties.